Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into a really interesting problem that can actually starve your plants, even when they're sitting in what looks like perfect soil. We'll get into the science of this hidden hunger and explore a seriously powerful solution in crop nutrition.
So let's just jump right into it. It's a question that can drive any grower nuts. You feel like you've done everything by the book. You've made sure the soil has plenty of the big three: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. But your crops are still looking weak. They're just not thriving. So what's the deal?
Okay, here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with this idea of hidden hunger, then we'll look at why nutrients get locked up in the soil. After that, we'll cover the clever scientific solution, which is chelation. And finally, we'll see how a product like EDTA Mix puts all that science into action for better crops.
All right, first up, let's talk about a problem that can completely sabotage your harvest, often without you even realizing what's happening. It's a really fundamental issue in plant science called hidden hunger.
So what is hidden hunger? Well, think of it this way. It's like a person eating plenty of food, getting lots of calories, but missing out on essential vitamins and minerals. The plant might look okay on the surface, but it's not performing at its best because it's desperately lacking tiny but crucial micronutrients, things like iron, zinc, and manganese. But wait a minute, if those micronutrients are already in the soil, why can't the plants just absorb them? Well, this is where a little bit of soil chemistry gets in the way, and it is, quite literally, the root of the problem. Here's where things get tricky. It all comes down to basic chemistry. You see, those essential micronutrients have a positive charge, and soil particles, they often have a negative charge. So what happens? Just like magnets, opposites attract. The nutrients get stuck, chemically bound to the soil particles, effectively locking them up. And in many key agricultural areas, like the acidic soils common across Southeast Asia, this nutrient lockup is a huge barrier to getting a good harvest. So, if everything's locked up, how in the world do we solve this problem? Well, the answer comes from some really clever science that works with nature to basically give plants a key to unlock these essential nutrients. And that solution is a powerful process called chelation. Now, that word comes from the Greek word for claw, which is a perfect way to picture it. A chelating agent is a big organic molecule that acts just like a claw, grabbing onto that micronutrient and holding it tight. Think of a chelating agent, something like EDTA, as a personal bodyguard for the nutrient. It finds that vulnerable nutrient, wraps it up in this stable protective bubble, and completely shields it. This protective structure prevents the nutrient from ever getting locked up by the soil particles. So now it can travel through the soil totally safe and sound and get delivered right to the plant's front door, its roots, ready for easy absorption. Okay, so now that we get the science behind chelation, let's see how this is actually used in the real world. And this is where a product like EDTA Mix comes into play, turning this powerful principle into a practical tool for growers. So EDTA-Mix from RAINDAO technology is a perfect example of this science in a bag. It's a precisely formulated blend of all those essential micronutrients, and every single one is chelated to make sure it's 100% available for your plants. And it's practical too. It comes in different forms, like a powder you can dissolve in water or granules that are super easy to apply. Now, I know what you're thinking, a table with a bunch of numbers, but stick with me because this is the proof in the pudding. This is a certificate of analysis, and it shows you exactly what's inside. For key nutrients like iron and zinc, you can see the actual test results meet or even beat the promised specifications. For any grower, this is your guarantee. It means you can be confident that you're giving your crops exactly what they need. So we've got the science, we've got the product, but what does all of this advanced chemistry actually mean for your crops out in the field? Well, the impact is huge, and it's all backed up by agricultural research. So what happens when plants finally get all those micronutrients they've been missing? The results are, well, pretty dramatic. Academic studies have confirmed that using chelated fertilizers leads to much stronger growth and just healthier-looking plants overall. It boosts their chlorophyll, which is the engine for photosynthesis. And what does that mean? It means bigger yields and higher quality produce, food that's more nutritious and even lasts longer in storage. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This isn't some marketing pitch, it's backed by published science. As this research paper from 2019 clearly states, it's that unique claw-like structure of chelated fertilizers that makes them so incredibly effective at improving both how much you grow and how good it is. So we've covered the problem of hidden hunger, the science of nutrient lockup, and the elegant solution of chelation. Now let's talk about how you can actually put this knowledge to work. The key takeaway here is pretty simple. By tackling the problem of micronutrient availability head on with chelation, you can break through those invisible barriers that are holding back your crops. You're not just adding fertilizer anymore, you're making sure the plants can actually use it. So if you want to get into the details on EDTA mix, find out about specific application rates for your particular crops, the experts at RAINDAO Technology are the people to talk to. You can connect with them directly through their website, shoot them an email, or even check out their YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Now that you understand the science of chelation, you really do have the key to unlocking the full potential of your harvest. So the only question left is, are you ready to solve the hidden hunger problem in your fields?